Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and the Immortal Hulk issue number 26. Man, in the previous issue, we just had like world destroying freaking powers, like bam, 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 smashing planets and whatnot. So I guess we can have a little bit less action in this one. I know that the damage was contained in the previous issue. In this issue, there is no damage, there's a threat. One single 20-page lasting threat. And I got goosebumps. I'm going to tell you 5 things about this comic book after I tell you about who made it. Let's get started. Status quo ante. Al Ewing is the writer. Joe Bennett is on pencils. Roy Jose on inks. Paul Mounts doing the colors. VC's Corey Petit on letters. Alex Ross, God bless you, son, doing the cover. And yeah, that's it. We're done. Okay, let's go home. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created this character, the Hulk. So my number 1 on this list, and that is Amadeus Cho. Look, I could actually talk the entire comic book if I wanted to about Amadeus Cho. And the end of this particular review is going to get political. If you're snowflakey, just back off. Just, you don't want to be here for that. But I will say that Amadeus Cho being here, he got tough. He got cowed. Somebody else got cowed later on, like the last couple pages of the book. But Amadeus, he kind of buckled up a little bit. He made his point, but then he was completely outclassed. And he knew it, but he still holds to certain guiding principles. You want to know what this book is like? I want you to think about this book much like the 5 points. What the hell was that Leonardo DiCaprio movie done by Martin Scorsese? Gangs of New York. There we go. Think of this book much like Gangs of New York, especially that scene at the end, right before the riot, where one is praying as a god of vengeance, one is praying as a god of, what the heck was he? A god of strength, whatever, and another one praying as a god of mercy. It's funny that where you are in life, man, oof, what Amadeus says, like the last thing that he really says to Bruce Banner was meaningful. It was meaningful. And that righteous anger being the key word, that Bruce felt, Amadeus, like he said something that should just cut him deep to the core and let him understand exactly who he is. We should all keep our anger in check. That doesn't mean stifle it. That does not know. Anger is a useful tool and it has contributed to evolution. This was something else though. Let's move on. Let's start talking about number 2 on this list. Hulk syndrome. This comic book is going to make fun of right-wingers. It's going to make fun of left-wingers. All right? And by making fun, I'm saying pointing out, like actually poking at, and letting you know what's up. If you're a far right-winger, you're going to be pissed off at this book and saying, oh, it's mean to me. If you're a left-winger, you're going to ignore that stuff and you're going to see that, oh my God, this book is poking at me. How dare you? Yeah. Buckle up, okay? Because this book is a hell of a ride. Again, no action. There was not a single punch thrown, not a smash given or taken. None. Nada. Zero. Big fat goose egg. Wow. Let's get talking about number 3 on this list. We believe in Bruce Banner. This is how the Messiah complex starts. This is going to relate back to number 2 on this list, the Hulk syndrome thing, because Hulk syndrome, they were talking about it. Okay, it is what it is. But Messiah complex was never actually mentioned. But if you know what it is, look it up if you don't. You will see it in Bruce Banner. And that's dangerous. Imagine this, a regular old guy, all right, has the chance to at least be wealthy, moves up, and all of a sudden he's praised by the masses. I wonder if he's going to run for president and then see his downfall. You never know. Like I said, this is a poignant comic book, man. So my number 4 on this list. It's very up to date. There's commentary in here about Wakanda and specifically about Krakoa as well. Al Ewing isn't really a part of all of that, but he's clearly reading those comic books. That's important, but it's also helpful. All right, it's helpful. It's important to us because, hey, look at what's going on here. But at the same time, it's something that it lets us know that he is paying attention to what else is going on. That's a blessing. That's a benefit because for us, I mean, because he could just say, listen, I don't have enough time. I've got a whole bunch of things that I'm doing in my life and reading other people's comic books. Come on, like seriously. It can't be somebody's job to read every comic book out there to make sure it's not interfering with somebody else's stuff. No, it simply can't be. The fact that he's doing it, though, wow. Number 5 on this list. It is very political. This is the part where if you start to get really snowflakey, you should absolutely leave because everybody's about to be insulted. And not necessarily by me, but probably. Look, man, I am a follower of politics. Enough of you guys know this. Enough of you peeps know this. The right wing sucks. The left wing sucks. They just suck. If you're a Republican, you're a Democrat. Look, man, whatever you believe in fiscally or something along those lines or socially somewhere along those lines, that's one thing. But the people who you vote for matter because we are a republic. So we don't get a direct vote on the laws. We don't get a direct vote on policy. We elect people who, based on, our understanding of their truthfulness or not, are going to vote for things that are going to affect all of the rest of us. It's not really going to affect them, is it? It's going to affect all of us. They have health care, so they could give a rat's ass if we do or not. You know what I'm saying? They have lots of money coming in. They have access to clean water. They have access to a fallback if, climate change really does happen. If all they're denying turns out, it turns out it was true. Oh, that sucks. Go to your bunkers. You don't have bunkers? Sucks to be you, because they're going to theirs. So, yeah. you got to understand who the people are who you're following. And this book does exactly that. Bruce Banner talks about this in excess. And then at the same time, Dario Agger talks about this just enough. Think about what he says. We basically committed grand treason, the highest treason imaginable. There was a war between humans and elves, and he even powdered that down. Dark elves, the Svartalfheim elves, the evil ones, back during the War of Realms. Malekith and all that. And we supported the elves, he says. And you know what happened to us? A couple of petitions, some boycotts, some whatever, but there was no actual charges of treason. Nothing actually happened to us. What crimes? What crimes? All sorts of crimes were committed and discovered, I should say, in 2008 from the big banksters, the Wall Street tycoons, the freaking speculators, right? Not the comic book speculators. They're not bad people. I'm talking about the banking speculators. They wrecked us, and we all felt it in some way or another. We all know someone who lost their home. And we are, as Americans, we are a stock tough breed that we always want to blame ourselves. Sometimes, however, we got to be a little bit smarter and start recognizing, no, actually, that mother effer right there did it to me. All of those mother effers right up there did that to me, to all of us, because none of them lost their homes. In fact, a lot of them, when the stock market crashed, somehow they got out a day or two earlier. Interesting. A week earlier. Interesting. Look, man, I'm going to say something. Al Ewing, I think, is ramping himself up, this old English bastard, ramping himself up to be an Alan Moore in many regards. Think about what he did with the Rorschach character. How he pointed out that sort of objectionism idea that Steve Ditko propagated, loved, believed in such a grandiose fashion when even Ayn Rand didn't. Dude, Rorschach was not a character who you could get behind. He simply wasn't. He wasn't made to be that kind of a character. That wasn't a heroic sacrifice that he made at the end of The Watchmen. No, that was his inability to see beyond black and white. He couldn't see shades of gray. Not even one, least of all 50. See what I did there? But then the movie comes out, and it's made by Zack Snyder, an objectionist, a follower of Ayn Rand. Atlas Shrugged, baby. And what happens? Suddenly Rorschach is a hero. This is what happens when people like Warner Brothers don't actually do their jobs and research stuff. That one of the reasons why Alan Moore is so pissed off at the creation of that movie, because they didn't do justice just in that one thing to the thing that he made. But you look at something like V for Vendetta. Oh, wow. Hey, 2 more hours until the end of the 5th of November. How perfect is that? You guys are going to see this on the 6th of November, but you get what I'm saying, right? Remember the 5th of November? V for Vendetta, what he pointed out. Hey, man, these guys are corrupt, but if we're going to be talking about taking responsibility for ourselves, who elected these people? Who put these guys in office? We have to find a way to make none of the above actually matter. Look, man, Hillary Clinton would have wrecked this country. Trump is wrecking this country. There was no greater evil. They're both evil. That's just how it works. You want to believe one way or the other, you have the right to be wrong. They were both evil. One would have went this way evil, one would have went that way evil. Come on. At the end of the day, that's what Al Ewing is showing us. And this is a major impact kind of comic book. The things that Banner says, the things that Agar says, and the thing that the one thing that Amadeus points out that was really pointed here about being a middle-class white man trying to start a revolution. It matters. Yes, it does matter. This was an amazing comic book. There's going to be people who are going to, and you know exactly which channels are going to say bad things about this comic book. How, it's too political. What the hell? Blah, blah, blah. Anybody. I'm going to say something very controversial right now. Anybody who tries to argue that this comic book is propaganda, these are people who do not have your best interest at heart. And realistically, they don't have their own best interest at heart either, which just makes them pure stupid. Let me make sure that it's understood what I said here. They are stupid. There's no debate on that. It's one thing to not care about trying to help other people with this, that, and the other thing. Okay, that's one thing. It's another thing entirely to have your own best interests at heart at the expense of someone else's. This is the difference between someone who doesn't share and someone who flat out steals. There are people out there who will actually, figuratively at least, shoot themselves in the foot to be able to point to their own party, their own side. People who don't have their best interests in heart. Just think about the idea. Think about the idea that here are these people, Democrats, Republicans, they're all evil. They all do their own thing. They're all about themselves. All of these people tell us that it's pipe dreams to have the things that other countries, like the country that I'm in right now, Canada, we have free health care. There are no long lines, and nobody is going for anything other than elective surgery by going to another country. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. I'm here. It doesn't happen. Nobody complains about the free medical service. Nobody has long lines. I was in Jersey. Jesus Christ. 3.5 hours sitting in a freaking line in a waiting room because I had, wood chips in my eye. My right eye. I could have lost my eye. But I'm waiting in a freaking 3.5 hour line. Meanwhile, I come in, I got a cold, and I get accepted right in here in Canada. Don't believe the effing lies. because that's all it is. And this is what we're seeing here. There are people who lie. They lie. And for one reason or another, people treat politics the way they treat sports. Oh, I'm for this team. Rah, rah, rah. Oh, they're losing 6 seasons, 10 seasons. They've never won. They've never, ever won. But I'm going to stick by my team. Wake up. It's not freaking sports. This isn't Marvel versus DC. This is evil people who are only out for themselves. They're willing to deny all these bad things and deny us good things because we don't have enough money to pay for it in the richest country in the history of recorded history. It's bullshit. It's time to wake the hell up. I love it when a comic book can get me this excited and hope that some people are going to wake up and recognize what the hell is going on. My peeps, stop voting against your best interests. Stop voting for a team or a side. Stop hoping that eventually you're going to get some kind of a piece of crumbs, not even a piece of a pie. Stop it. Stop listening to baby boomers telling you, oh, millenniums and other people, you're all, you save too much. You don't save enough. Everything you do is wrong. Meanwhile, all the stuff that they were given for free. Yeah. Listen. Stop. This is a really good comic book. This is a comic book that should get you thinking. If there's not so much lead in your water that you've dropped your IQ into the double digits, all right? This is a fantastic comic book. Love this comic book. Need more comic books like this. We're about to start the war between the Hulks and Roxxon. I can't wait. It's going to be some smashing there. But I'm always going to have to refer back to this and where everything could go wrong. This was amazing. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Lecture over. Class dismissed.